Everybody, this is day 1536. 1536 days. And that is from Richard. Now, this is really big. This is breaking news. I have a lot of breaking news for you. So much breaking news. This whole week is going to be breaking news. Remember last Sunday, we've been in 1 week of really the floodgates opened of accountability, and so many things have been happening behind the scenes. And I want to make sure that everyone can hear me so that they will understand that, we're just telling the truth. When I'm telling you that the floodgates opened, the floodgates opened. Um, and it just takes for us doing this day in and day out and knowing this case so well and how it intertwines with the Walmart case, how it intertwines with this very suspicious killing of the FBI agent at El Paso's Independent School District by a police officer from the El Paso Independent School District police force. How this is connected to the trafficking. So here we've been doing this 4 years, learning the system. We understand how this is connected to the removal of a duly elected district attorney, Yvonne Rosales. We understand the interference of John Briggs, who is an assistant district attorney, and now for the usurper, Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks is a usurper, y'all. He is a criminal. He's a usurper. He needs to be in handcuffs. Um, and he's interfering, and he has been interfering, and we understand how he's been interfering, and so we have been formulating our complaint letters to file what we have been learning, because you can't just throw your hands up and say, oh my gosh, this is so big, this is so complicated, this is so, we're up against a big green machine, or we're up against, this huge criminal syndicate that is absolutely colluding with just the whole evil criminal, I would say the cartel, but it's more than just a cartel, y'all. It's uh, because they've been infiltrated and made deals, and so it's a criminal group, absolutely criminal group. And so when you understand, you have to formulate who you're going to um, write, and what you're going to write, and you have to control your emotions in this week. You just have to wrap your head around things, as they pour out of the floodgates all this information, and you have to file it. It's so important to file these this information, create investigations into this, because they cannot be allowed to operate their criminal cabal, their criminal network. They do it at the expense. All crime, right, is at the expense of our children, of our economy, our economics, our military, our national security, our community, the security of our community, at the expense of our judicial system, at the expense of the taxpayers, at the expense of our son Richard Halliday, a soldier, not just any soldier, distinguished honor graduate twice for basic training and AIT. Um, People need to understand he was a decorated soldier, so young, distinguished honor graduate, guidon bearer. Um, 3 AAMs in 14 months. Um, Absolutely amazing scores that he got promoted before his peers did, with waivers. He was so excellent, they had to promote him quickly. Um, you know, it, app, he would do anything without complaint, so said his first sergeant in the paperwork. Um, as far as all of his tasks as a soldier, his heart was in it. He wanted to be the best, and he aspired to be the best soldier, and he aspired to get his education, and he aspired to be a CID agent. Um, he wasn't in there to belong to a criminal cabal to take advantage, um, and at the expense of the military, at the expense of the community, at the expense of taxpayers. That wasn't Richard. That is Leilani Hart. That is Dallas Hart. That is Bill Hicks. That is John Briggs. And James Hart, Tavita Nusa. Uh, the breaking news is so big because Leilani Hart has an immigration problem. She has an immigration problem. And what she has done is, I would say, as an illegal immigrant. So, there are groups that are, keeping track of the crime. And she's a confirmed convicted criminal, with mental problems and long history, and in this household that is, uh, she's putting in complaints that they're engaged in incest, and that these are not my words. These are the FBI accepted, notarized confessional words of Leilani Hart. That her family is engaged in incest, that they're engaged in child, up to no good with children, long term, and even child porn. And, so this is purchasing weapons illegally. And we have the gunsmith that would tamper with these guns. It is absolutely connected with the weapons trafficking, with the ammunition trafficking, with the drug trafficking, but it's also connected to the child trafficking. The Absolutely, and it's a network, right? Because where are they? Where are they? There has to be a network in order to get them in, and get the funding. They probably pocket some of the funding money that's supposed to be, that's why it's this Hart's Child Care. Don't forget that James Hart had Hart's Child Care, and this El Paso Independent School District. You can absolutely get contracts, especially for transportation and all that. Um, so and get funding, get the funds, and just get it all paid for at the expense of taxpayers, and at the expense of um, our nation's health, mental health, ethical health, moral health, everything. So this is huge news. Uh, one one thing that I wanted to add also before I go into the big news, um, and this is huge news. This is breaking news too, and that is that Patrick Crusius has been diagnosed with autism for a long time. For a long time, his neighbor knew since he was 3. Right? The neighbors knew since Patrick Crusius was 3 that he had autism. So, that so then medical examination and funding and education and all of that was absolutely documented. Okay. So Patrick Crusius, his mental health condition was documented since he was, let's just say 3, but of course that's the neighbors, the family. He could have been 2 years old, right? Um, maybe, yeah, right? So, but the neighbors absolutely knew that he was autistic. Everyone knew. That's not my words. That's everyone knew that Patrick Wood Crusius, was autistic since he was 3. And the thing with these mental health conditions and autism, being on the spectrum and having all the tests and um, being part of special classes, which um, I did that, right? I was in those classes and had to care for and teach children if I could. Some of them are so severe you cannot um, easily teach them. You have to make sure that they don't hurt themselves, right? Because they like to hurt themselves. Um, all of that is documented. I know because not in Patrick Crucia's case, but in other children's case in Texas, you have to write the reports. You have to fill out the reports of, the daily journal of these children, what they've done, just the report on them. And so these records are kept, and it is absolutely kept for funding. And if you're going to get funding, you have to substantiate why you want the funding. Um, and if you have these severe children, the children with severe mental health conditions such as autism, but we know that Patrick Crusius had more than that, you have to keep records, records and records. And as an attorney, Joe Spencer would receive those records, the medical records, and also the school records. Okay. Now, Patrick Crusius wasn't in, well, I'm just saying he, I don't know how they're doing it now. Sometimes they want to put him in a regular class. In my time there in Texas, they did not put them in a regular class. So, from my experience, he would be in a separate program. But even if he would be integrated into a regular class, which they try to do somewhat, he would still be in a special program. He would still be um, taken out for his special needs because he's a special needs child. And and I'm not I'm just saying he has a record of being a special needs child. And Joe Spencer would have access to all of those records, his medical records and his school records. And there is no question at all that Joe Spencer has committed fraud, total fraud, for his own financial benefit against the people of El Paso, against the taxpayers, against Richard Halliday, our son. And by withholding the information that Patrick Crusius has autism, because no way, no, people have to understand that those involved in the Walmart mass shooting targeted Richard. Richard knew things about the Walmart mass shooting. Of course he did, because they wouldn't target him. they would not target him unless he posed a threat. And the very individuals that were part of the criminal group in the Walmart case are the very ones that are the suspects in Richard's murder. The breaking news here. Okay, so let's just repeat one more time about Joe Spencer, because I think this is really important for people to understand about Joe Spencer, that he absolutely knew that Patrick Crusius had autism. And it doesn't take much time when you are in a room, and maybe Joe Spencer is not the sharpest tack, right? And was in the room and said, "Oh, maybe I just thought he was weird or whatever." But as an educator, it just took a few minutes, and I'm like, "Oh, he seems to be on the spectrum. Oh, now I'm convinced he's on the spectrum. Oh yeah, he has autism." Um, you know, and that's without looking at his school records. But Joe Spencer has his school records. Okay? Just like when you're investigating Richard, they had his record and they failed to mention to the public that Richard was a distinguished honor graduate for both basic training and AIT, and that he had inquired and was in the process of becoming a CID agent, that he wanted to be a CID agent, and that was confirmed by Dirty Agent Marlon Soto Hernandez. Um, so, Richard was law abiding. You don't want to go into being a CID agent in Richard's situation when you're the distinguished honor graduate twice, and you're working hard. When he was 15, he clept out of 6 college credit hours of college math, and then 6 hours of German, foreign language German, when he was 15, right? You don't work hard then to, be up to no good. You just, and we had talked to the chaplain, and the chaplain confirmed to us what we already knew, but it was nice to have his confirmation that what they were saying about Richard was a lie. Okay? We have that confirmation from the chaplain. And we were very grateful for that. He could have done more. He could have done more. But that was more than what so many, because this is the breaking news. Richard was a code. Richard was a code red. Okay? And absolutely, Bradford Bugado, the lieutenant colonel in the G3 of the 32nd ADCOM, knew it. He knew it. And absolutely, Clem Coward, the major general of the 32nd ADCOM, he knew it. Because Richard was code red. What does that mean? That it was ordered, an internal order to have an internal order. And so our have opened up, and I just wanted to let everyone know there is no doubt that Richard's murder on Fort Bliss was ordered internally in the U.S. Army chain of command. That is absolutely There's just no doubt. And they wanted him dead. He posed a threat. He posed a threat to them. And the floodgates have opened up, and we are getting amazing, amazing confirmations from Washington. And this week has been a wowzer. And this next week, you're going to hear more and more about that. The prime suspects are Dallas Hart Richards' platoon leader. That explains, right? The Fort Bliss CID agent Tavita Nusa. That explains. And confirmed convicted criminal Leilani Hart. Absolutely, you'll find out her positions on Fort Bliss and how she had access. Yes, she was giving sexual favors, too many. Um, and, you know, even a hotel was looking into that kind of stuff. So we have the hard evidence. We have the witness testimony written on record. We have the notarized affidavit, which is huge, by Leilani Hart herself. And the prime suspects are Leilani Hart, CID agent Tavita Nusa, and platoon leader Dallas Hart. And we just want you to know that it was absolutely a code red. There is no doubt. So now we released last night a Bill Hicks music video. I hope everyone has a chance to listen to that. Bill Hicks, more needs to be added because the floodgates are open and more information is coming in, and he has been interfering in not just Richard's case, not just scheming to remove and replace with himself Yvonne Rosales, but he has been up to no good with the El Paso Independent School District with John Briggs. So this is, interference with the judicial system. And do not even think for a minute that Bill Hicks didn't know about Patrick Crusius having autism. And this is one of the reasons I think they put him in isolation, right? He's been in isolation, and that they did not bring him out during his hearings. Very few times they ever brought him out during his hearings, because once you see him, you absolutely know that, there is clear indication that he has mental conditions. And we have talked to professional investigators, Team Find Richard Halliday has, and they have confirmed our suspicions that absolutely no way could Patrick Crusius carry out the Walmart mass shooting by himself. No way. Absolutely zippo chance. And we, of course, have all the witness statements, and it's really important because the Walmart mass shooting case is intertwined with Richard's case, and now it's intertwined with the suspicious killing of this FBI agent by the hands of El Paso Independent School District Police Force. So that is really huge. Any other, let me think of so much information here. Oh yes, we do know who is interfering with preventing Yvonne Rosales from taking her rightful place because she is the duly elected district attorney. It's not Bill Hicks. He's a usurper. He's a usurper. Look up that word. It is, kind of like trespasser, but he's a usurper. And John Briggs is a usurper. So, with the Walmart case, right? With the Walmart case. So, we are absolutely trying to tell the truth here and everything we've been right about. Patrick Crusius having autism, we've been warning about that since December of 2023, as early as that, maybe a little bit earlier. Um, no, December 2023. And we're right about Richard. We've been right about Richard all along. He's absolutely a hero. And they absolutely murdered him from an order, a premeditated, code red, internal betrayal of our military ranks, our military uniforms. Can you imagine that our because Richard is not the first, right? He's not the first. How many soldiers, when they expose the corruption going on in our military, have lost their lives? I'd like to know. I would like to know because he was absolutely a code red. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming on, and thank you for sharing this video. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing. Thank you so much.